So it's been confirmed that 20th Century Fox is in fact moving forward with the sequel to this year's critical and commercial disaster, The Fantastic Four. Now, this is probably just producer Simon Kinberg trying to save face and say that all is well, when in reality, this will probably get canceled like a whole lot of comic book sequels that get prematurely announced. Remember, they announced Amazing Spider-Man 3 before 2 even came out, and now that's just a fever dream in the minds of Andrew Garfield fans around the world. But let's assume that this is true and Fox has somehow convinced itself that it can salvage this mess of a franchise. What do they do? Now, I know what you're thinking, and the answer is no. They're not just going to give the rights back to Marvel. That bridge was burned a long time ago, and to be honest, I don't even think Marvel would even want the rights back. So what does Fox do with the Fantastic Four franchise? Well, for starters, they need to scrap this version entirely. Get a new cast, a new director, new writers, new everybody. The version that came out this year is clearly tainted, and obviously nobody wanted to see it. Next, and this is important, do not do another origin story. I'm not one of those people who's sick of seeing origin stories. Every superhero has a different and unique origin that is important to the beginnings of their character. But Fox has tried twice now to tell the origin of the Fantastic Four, and both times they've come up really short. While we're on the subject of things they've tried twice and have failed to do, Doctor Doom should not be in the next Fantastic Four movie. Fox, you screwed him up worse than you did the Fantastic Four's origin, and part of the problem is you keep trying to tie him into the Fantastic Four's origin. Doom has nothing to do with the beginnings of the Fantastic Four. He went to college with Reed Richards and blames him for the disfigurement of his face, but other than that, the two paths are completely separate. Also, he's been way too sanitized for these movies. He's supposed to be Joseph Stalin meets an evil wizard, not some generic evil corporate tycoon or whatever the hell Toby Kebbell was trying to pull off. But if not Doom, then who's going to be their villain? Well, it's easy. The Fantastic Four have more than one adversary. Like the Skrull, they're a race of shape-shifting aliens. That can lead to all sorts of awesome ideas. Namor is another great pick. I just don't know who owns the rights to him, so you might have to do some wheeling and dealing in order to get that done. There's Kang the Conqueror, the Mad Tinkerer, the frickin' Mole Man. That may sound a little silly, but that leads perfectly into my next point. Embrace the silly. To a certain extent. This year's Fantastic Four is the perfect example of a movie that takes itself way too seriously. Almost as if it's embarrassed to have been started off as a comic book. By contrast, the 2005 Fantastic Four movie was way too silly, went for all the easy gags, and just didn't give audiences a reason to take what's happening seriously. You need to find the perfect balance between when to take things seriously and when to have fun. Kind of like what your main competition is doing right now. Now, I know some people are saying that Fantastic Four is just another example of Fox not knowing how to do big franchises, but I don't really think that's fair. I mean, sure, they ruined this franchise, and they kind of let the Alien and Predator movies fall apart, and the last Die Hard movie wasn't very good, and their animated films have been getting worse. But there are now more good X-Men movies than there are bad X-Men movies, and the recent Planet of the Apes movies have just been amazing, like seriously amazing. They just need to do 3 simple things. Have faith in the source material, have faith in the cast and crew, and have faith in the fans. Otherwise, you're going to be having the same conversation in 5 years from now. And by then, Incredibles 2 will have come out, and that means Pixar has made 2 good Fantastic Four movies to Fox's 0. Anyway, what do you guys think about the Fantastic Four? Do you think Fox can salvage this? Is there anything you think they should do? Besides giving it back to Marvel, obviously. Let me know down below or anywhere on the internet. Check us out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for regular content. Tuesdays and Thursdays for streaming if you're into that sort of thing. All here on YouTube. Like if you like, subscribe if you really like, share this video with a friend. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. What I do want to talk about is one of the men involved in this separation, Marvel's current CEO, Ike Perlmutter. This man is something of a mystery, but from what we know about him already, it's kind of surprising that this merry Marvel mutiny didn't happen a lot sooner. The thing is, because the Apple TV, when you get right down to it, its gaming, aspect of it is not that different from an Ouya or what Amazon Fire TV was doing or any of the other like micro consoles that exist.
Except there's no controller.
I'll get to that.